Hey kids, Cast Strong Gaming here, no beating around the bush. In this video I'm talking about 5 massive mistakes I made while leveling in Path of Exile 2. Now, first one, when you're going through Act 1, you're going to come across the Hooded One while you're completing the campaign, the main storyline. You will unlock him and he will have the option to identify all your items in your inventory, plus refund your passive skill points. This is hugely important because when you're freshly starting out, you're going to be completely broke on gold. Gold drops are going to be minimal along with items. So Scrolls of Wisdom, you can buy them, but they won't be technically cheap starting out. So his free passives are hugely important for saving up gold and just in general. So please do this. Speed until you get him unlocked. You'll thank me later. Now, number 2, while you're leveling, you'll come across lesser jewel orbs, which will give you a 3rd socket for your skill gems. But this can also be used to potentially give you a 4th free socket for your skill gems when you use a Vol Orb. Now, Vol Orb will corrupt it, potentially either increasing or decreasing its level and the gem socket, the support socket. So it is a risk, and you do need Vol Orbs, unfortunately. So it can be semi-expensive starting out, but if you have some sitting around, it can be a great way because the other jeweler orbs can be quite expensive for Exalt orbs starting out right now. So it's just a it's a bit of a waste, but it's just another way of getting another socket in your skill gem. So just a little FYI there. Alright, now number 3, while you're going through the campaign, you're going to come across optional bosses and side quests that will give you permanent buffs, like 30 spirit here, 10 to resistances for cold resistances, and more importantly, your weapon skill points will come from some of these optional bosses and side quests, so it's highly important. And by the time you get to the end of Cruel difficulty, you should have 24 total weapon skill points. Now, when you go to your passive skill tree, you see in the upper right corner, it will show how many you have. If you have 24, you are good to go. If you do not have 24, then go back through the campaign, look at your map, look at your legend, and see what you miss, and go through and get these buffs, because they are important. Because each act you go through, it reduces your resistances by 10% per resistance. So by the time you're done, you'll be 50% down on all your resistances. So these permanent buffs are a must-have. No joke about it. You need these. This is why they put them in the game. You need, absolutely must-have, because the end game will absolutely wipe your freaking face off the planet if you don't get these buffs. You need it. So big FYI here. And some of these side quests are unassuming, like the final letter. It gives you 2 passive skill points, and it's just a random side quest. It's not even a side boss, so please do these. Alright, number 4, check the vendors as often as you can. Every time you level up, they do reset, so check them for rare upgrades. Sometimes some of the best gear I've found is checking the vendors every time. Or at least every couple levels if I'm paying attention, and you get some really good stuff. And also on a plus note here, you see ones with sockets. These crap items with quality on them and sockets. Now you could use a little search tool for rare. You can search quality and sockets. Well, sockets are obvious, but you grab those and you can use the salvage bench to get rid of the ones with the sockets and quality, and it will give you scraps of blacksmithing orbs, artificer orbs, and of course the armor orbs. So those are extremely important for trading and upgrading your weapons and armor. So do not pass these up when you find them, especially when you go through Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. Before Cruel difficulty, you will find these in the vendors, and they're super cheap too, so you'll even save on gold by doing that. And there's just an example right here of getting the scraps from when, and of course the more sockets, the more you will yield. Instead of 1, you'll get 2 of the artificer shards. So And also disenchanting. You go to the lady or the person who can disenchant your magic and rare items. They will give you regal shards for the rare, and of course transmute shards for the magic. And honestly, regals are really important for crafting, so please scrap those rares for more of those regal shards. Now, number 5, while you're going through the Trial of Sigma, please use relics before you enter the trial. These you will find in the trial. They'll give you, as I think, a quest reward too, and these will help you with your honor, restoring honor. They give you just different buffs, and you can use the augmentation to further increase this too. So just like crafting, you can just augment these and do that. I haven't done it on some of these, I completely forgot, and you can unlock more the more trials you complete. So the more you will get more space for that, as you can see on the screen there. So big important. All right, now as a bonus 6th and final tip for massive mistakes I made while leveling is item rarity and how important it is. Now, it doesn't show it on my stats for some reason, my stat chart there, that I have rarity on, but I do have it on my gear, as you can see, in what it does for you. Now, for some reason, it is really strong in Path of Exile 2. Now, it was pretty nerfed back in the day in Path of Exile 1, but in here, just a little bit rarity goes a long ways. Now, I have 24 total on my gear, which I noticed it gives you just a noticeable increase in drops. So instead of transmute orbs, you're getting augmentation orbs, and instead of regals, you're getting the more chance of like exalt and chaos and stuff like that. So it's a big difference. This chart right here is kind of mediocre because of what it does, and I'm not sure if it applies to the actual loot of the monster that died or the next monster dies after the rare unique. So it's kind of weird. Just use a regular charm in the meantime, because I think that charm's sadly mediocre, and it only lasts for 1.2 seconds. So it's kind of so. And honestly, these regular charms seem to be more important for defense. So anyways, those are all my mistake tips while leveling. So hopefully I'll like the stuff and catch you all in the next video. Peace out, Come Scouts.